Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for our first IGP 101 session on tools. Mainly, I'm going to say compasses, but we can't talk about compasses without talking about other tools. But the only tool that I'm going to sort of mostly assume we're using are pencils. So compasses with pencils, although we know we can use compasses with everything else. And because I want to get in some zoomed in pictures, I've got some photos as well as the actual things I want to take us through. And if you have any questions, I'm going to suggest we kind of we'll see how we go. But if there's kind of a opportunity to just pause and then go through those questions, or at the end, we'll do that because I don't know. I've got a big pile of things to get through, so I was like, will I even have time to go off on distractions and diversions? But we will see how we go. It's it's a kind of a hopefully a relaxed atmosphere, and hopefully you can gain some insight and some knowledge and kind of clarification on things that you are aware of. I think sometimes when you've been doing something for a while, you forget how how it is when you start. Like you forget that you didn't know stuff because you know stuff now. So then you have to kind of unravel all of that and like, did I not know? And they're like, I can't remember. Okay, let's see if I can turn on the camera successfully. It is recording, and let's see how we go. It was really bad weather here earlier, and I was like, oh, the weather always upsets the situation. Oh, okay, I know it looks blurry, but it's no problem. We'll fix that. Okay, so I've got some images here, and can I just say thank you for sending photos of your compasses because I really want to get a sense of what we're using because I don't buy every compass under the sun. I have what I have, and I haven't bought anything new for a long time. So, in terms of what I'm going to be talking about, I am going to suggest that you go to two websites or one website, which is my own website, um, in case you want to get more details on anything. So, anything I'm about to say isn't necessarily brand new. Let's make this a little less brighter. It's stuff that I've talked about probably plenty, and other people probably have too. So, on my website, there's a Smira. Let's see, it's going to zoom in. Smiramian.uk/equipment. I filled this up, or populated it way back when in lockdown, and I'd still stand by all the things that I've said. So I talk about compasses in great detail, and really importantly, I link things and places where you can get more and more information about them. And then I have some recommendations. Okay. One thing that you kind of got in this history of compasses is they aren't things that necessarily people use professionally the way they used to. So if you have a compass, the build quality of it is going to be different to how it was in the past. So I'm going to take you through one brand that I really recommend, and I sent them a message and yeah, about a couple of years ago, and they sent me some compasses, so I'm very lucky. I'm going to tilt these so you can see them without the glare. So when you now think of compasses, because people aren't using them in the professional capacity as widely and as extensively as they used to, the main kind of people who are using compasses are artists. And again, we're not a huge group, but then it's students at school. So then you have something that is sort of like deteriorated in quality no end compared to what it was before. So this, even the colourful writing from Norris Club. So it's a compass that they sent me, but I don't necessarily think I've ever used it. Have I even opened it? I haven't even opened it. But yeah, this is a school compass. So what we're after is essentially a technical compass. So if I put down a few models from Statler, let me just lean this on something because it's catching the glare. Oh, that's too high. Oh, it's a YouTube bot. It's like I'm trying to show off. Okay, so that's kind of the basic one. And then you've got a few in the range that they have. Okay. Now, the thing is, even within these modern compasses, even though they're a brand that I really love and really like, been a slight, I would say, change in the quality of their build. So something like this, if I take it out, let's have a look. Actually, I'm sort of ignoring this poor fella. Let's put this away. And actually, let's put these two away for a second so we can look at them one at a time. Okay, so something like this is more or less basically one of the first compasses I bought, and I think it was about £50. And what I really like about Statelet is the solid build quality and the fact that everything, all the parts are really solid and metal. Okay, so like the reliability then is much higher. Let's make this a little less bright. Okay. Now, the thing is, the other great thing about a good compass brand, so Statler, is if you have any issues with your compass, you can write to their customer services department and they send it back, or they ask you to send it back and they'll send a replacement. So there's a certain quality of customer service that they have. So what is it that I like so much about this compass? So firstly, poor thing, I took out its point. In the box, you've got the extension bar and you've got well, there's actually 3 ways you can attach something to it. Okay. And I'm going to talk about this next one in a second. If we look at it close up, I might show you a photo rather than hold this one up close up. Let's see if I can get over to my photos because it's easier to show you a photo of something and then try to get it on the camera. So that holder that I just held up, let's see, where is my photo? This is perhaps a good thing to do. It's got inside the holder this screwing ring. So, like the rings that you have from when you screw something in. So you can see here, this is a different brand. But the idea that some of your compass holders, they have something like screwing in ability, but then what do you screw in? Because your typical pens and pencils don't have that quality that you can screw something in. What you're typically going to be doing is either using the lead that goes inside the pencil, which I'm a big fan of, and these leads, they're standard, they're 2mm, so we will be talking about those. So you can then just loosen that and put a lead in. Why have I not got a lead here? I'll come back to that. Okay, so then the thing that you can use, which most of us will be able to use, is this lovely adapter. So it's a pen adapter. And what I really, really, really rate about it is the fact that, can you see that blue component? It has a curve. So your pencil's sitting there really securely. And when I contrast this with other makers, you'll see how they don't come out as well. Okay, so this can go in and all of a sudden you can put any pen or pencil in. So it just opens up your ability to work with more than just your lead. You can work with pencils, mechanical pencils, pens, and so on and so forth. So it's a really good set. The other thing is this mechanism here. It allows you to open and close the compass and also quick release the compass. So these 2 buttons, I'm pressing this down and I'm able to open and close it. So essentially, you don't need that, but sometimes when you're working quickly and you get impatient, it's quite useful. And if you do want to draw bigger circles, it's got an extension bar. And so this is something that you would then place here. And again, everything is screwing in and screwing out. The screws don't tend to fall. Oh, they can fall out actually if you just tip it. So every time I play with my compass, let's just zoom out a little bit. Every time I do anything with my compass, change the components, I try to do it on top of the box so that if I drop anything, it will drop into the box. Because to this day, I have lost screws, the leads, the bits and bobs, and like I just don't know where they are because they've fallen onto the ground and they're too tiny for me to spot. Unless I'm with some, like with others who help. But honestly, it's really annoying. So then this is where you can then put in the components. So it can get quite cumbersome and it is tricky, but you can draw much bigger circles. Now, how often do we draw much bigger circles? For me personally, hardly ever. Okay, so this, I think I'm going to turn the box over and I'll confirm the name of it, but I think I'm going to guess that it's the Mars Comfort 555 or something like that. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can correctly remember the names of compasses. Oh, it doesn't have the name on it. So this compass I actually bought of somebody secondhand because she was tidying up and clearing up and she doesn't draw anymore. So she was asking if I'd like to buy it. And I said, yep, I would love to buy it. Okay. Now, the names of these compasses, um, they often have the word bow in them. Ah, if it said I couldn't find this one on Amazon, is there a way to order the compass directly through Statler? You know what? I don't know. I don't think so. So this is the thing. Being able to find compasses, especially when, the main people they're selling to are students, and we're trying to buy the high quality ones, you end up going you end up finding it harder to source them the way you'd find other things. So therefore, going to eBay, I know this isn't the kind of the quickest way to buy stuff, but going to eBay and typing in the model and having a good look at the photos, you will be able to find compasses there. A little more time consuming, a little bit more frustrating, but I just think the build quality you get from older compasses, especially if they're not easy to find where you are, is really useful. That's why on my website I linked to people who sell second-hand compasses and I know and trust them, and also kind of a website called Maths Instruments where you can see all the makers, generally speaking, because there are makers that are like European or British as opposed to American or Canadian or Danish. And so therefore, wherever you are, you might not be able to find all the ones I'm suggesting as easily as you are if you're somewhere else. So this is one of the issues. Okay, so if you can't find kind of the compasses, then the secondhand market is literally the best because we take us, we're talking about, we're the guardians of these compasses. We're the ones who are using them, right, as artists. And rather than them sitting in somebody's old cabinet not being used, or just like somebody owning it and they don't value it, we would actually use them. We would, take out the points and the bits and then try and have a go with them. Sarah Beth, Statler.com, call the set Mars Comfort 551 Precision Compass Set. Precision Compass Set. Yeah, that sounds about right. On the back of them, some of them have got the names. Yeah, so 551. I don't really, I don't really love this one. I don't know why. It's solidly built. I should love it. It has everything I need. I'm going to take it back. Let's not be mean. So yeah, this is the one that does have the name on it. It has the right attachments. Now, when you look at these compass points, they are really, really sharp. So one thing that you need to kind of test out and be aware of is that the point, and you applying a little bit of pressure when you're putting your compass down and holding it, point needs to be able to adhere to a surface. So two things really. It needs to be sharp and pointy, and the surface you're working on needs to be something you can adhere to. So let me just kind of give you an example of that. Okay, so when you're working on your table, so this is just my plain table, I wouldn't work on here directly with a piece of paper. I would work on, I would say, three things really. So either a cutting board, so that when you put your compass point into this, it would actually poke in and sort of there's a little bit of give. A pile of paper. So if I don't have this, I'd work on a pile of paper. But even then, it's not great. So then typically what I do is I work on cardboard. Even if it's the muckiest cardboard known to mankind, I work on a bit of cardboard because then it's got something to stick into. Okay. So that whole thing about having pointy compass points and sticking into something, together they give you a little bit of what's the word, adherence, so you can actually spin it around. Jonathan, I use a clipboard with one piece of paper below it. Yeah, so is the clipboard something that is a smooth surface, or is it can be something that can be poked into? So you can basically hunt around your home and see what surfaces you have. So cardboard is perfectly good for me. And if I don't have cardboard, I'll use not just one sheet of paper, maybe 4 or 5 sheets of paper, because I want it to adhere to something. So let me just show you something about compass points. Because this is the other thing. Back in the day, let's see if I can open it up. There we go. Back in the day, the compass points you would get They would be double-ended. There'd be different thicknesses and different thinness. Is that a word? Some of them have a point at one end, some of them have the other end. There's a type of compass point that is really, really good to kind of notice because if you can get it, it helps with your drawing. So why are you not opening? Let me just go to my gallery. Here we go. Here's the gallery. So let's come out of this and find the right picture. So let me zoom in on this picture a little bit. Okay, so why am I such a big fan of older compasses is because they have these points. So look how sharp that is. But imagine if you pressed into your paper, as you're pressing in, your hole's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So how do we avoid that? Well, don't press hard. Like literally have a light touch. The pressure you're applying, be as, be as gentle as you can until you master this idea that you're pressing down but not too hard. So if your hole is becoming too big and too messy, far bigger than, it should be, then it's going to really be frustrating as you, work. So there's something called a collared point. I love these because I used to be and still can be quite heavy handed. So something like this, can we zoom in? It's got like this stopping point. So even if I poked it in, my hole wouldn't get huge because basically it would stop. It wouldn't go any further. So I do tend to put these into a lot of my compasses because I have them. But if I use these, my hole might get bigger and bigger, but then I would just be really careful. So the two things go in hand, having a light touch and having a sharp point and to help you having a collared point. So this is again like a reason why you might want to have a look around on the internet for older compasses. So I talked about Staedtler. I'm just going to talk about one more modern brand that's available in the UK, and then I am going to go to the land of vintage compasses. So this is a company called Jacquard. And please notice how raggedy and old and haggard these boxes are. So how do you make sure your compasses stay like well? Just always keep them in their box. Like packing them away in their pet boxes is really important. And even if the box is broken and it's the compass I take to every single workshop, it is still protected. Okay. I tend to do this strange thing that I cut out the hole for it and I kind of attach the pencil holder because this is the compass I use for my workshops. So I'm always attaching pens. Oh, I've just noticed Jonathan said it's a bit of cardboardy, the clipboard I have. Oh yeah, so back to the surface you work on, cardboard. Sarah Beth, without the collared point, I'd have a bullet hole in my page. Oh my God, right? And it just gets muckier and bigger. And honestly, when you're drawing Islamic geometric patterns or many patterns, you're making an intersection and you're using an intersection again and again. So in a way, that hole potentially could get so big. Okay, all right. Now, one thing I wanted to contrast. So this is Jacquard. It's a brand I really like. So this is the compass I use. It's got these quick release buttons and it's got the compass extension bar, which I can use and I do use a lot. Okay. And it's got a little collared point. How closely can I show you? I feel like a makeup artist, but it is basically a collared point. Let's see if I can show you. Now I'm making it my mission to show you. Okay, so it's got the collared point. So I'm glad I got the photos because it's really hard to show the details of this. But Jacquard, the pen holder it comes with, if I can get in here and show you, it looks like this. Okay, let's make some space and let's zoom in. Let's zoom in this way. It looks like this. So can you just see it's just a screw, okay? And that's it. Like there's no curved part to it. So when you're putting a pen in, let me quickly demonstrate. Let's see something like this. It's kind of not holding it as perfectly as the other holder. So what I did is I just took one of my work compasses and I took the Staedtler and put it inside. So one thing that's really good about compasses is there's a lot of kind of what's the word I'm looking for? standardization of sizes, so you can switch things around and use, a stapler pencil holder or pen holder with a jacquard compass. There is a limit to this because, we're talking about compasses that are necessarily, have been around for, like a long time in multiple countries. So there is a limit to this. Not everything is standard across the board over all of time, but there came a point where things were standardized. So jacquard I like, and I think they are available on Amazon. And this compass is one of 20 or 30 that I take to all my workshops. So I do 4 or 5 workshops. Do I do 4 or 5? Let's say 4 or 5 workshops every month, every year for the last, oh my goodness, let's say since 2000, I can't think, 2016, 17. So
Oh,
I used to have a Helix. I'll show you those, but I then switched to this maybe in 2018, and they are in good condition. They have collared points. They've got screws that have maintained metal parts. Everything's solid. The only thing is they're slow to open and close, but I emphasize that this is a slow art, so I don't want people having a mechanism that makes it quicker for them because then they just end up doing things quickly. So it's a really good compass. So I rate Jacquard's build quality, and I think they're pretty affordable as well. So I think this one comes under £10 and this one is maybe 25, £30. So Jacquard is another modern day brand that's available in the UK widely, but I don't know how available it is in other places. And then also when you're in other places, let me just show you another brand. So I think somebody gifted me this. This is Kern. This is Linex, so Danish. So other brands that are relatively modern. So this is definitely modern. This is modern, and this is retro. This is so retro. Let me show you. I got this purely because it's pretty, and this is one of the reasons why I had to give up buying stuff on Amazon because I was just buying things that were just so pretty, and I just shouldn't do that. But what you'll see for all of them, they have really nice build quality. And what is very funny about this compass is its drop bow compass, and I'll talk about that in a second. It's so differently built to other ones, and it's very plasticky. But yeah, it's a really nice, fun thing to have. So you can end up buying a lot of things that you may not use all the time, but it's a nice, oh dear, hobby. But yeah, different brands are out there. But like I said, I don't have everything of every kind because it'd be impossible. It'd be terrible. And so I did go through a phase when I bought a few things from the past. But yeah, so this Kern one, it's got a different mechanism for opening it and closing it, but it's still really lovely. Sarah Beth, we deserve pretty things. But if you look at this compass point, um, how can I get closer? It's closer than all the other things. Yeah, can you see? That would make such a big hole. So if I do use this, I would switch that bit for that point for another point. Okay, so before I move on completely, when I first started, I bought the Helix set that is on my website. I might just show a photo of it because I think it's still available. And what is really funny to me is I reckon I used to have it a lot of the time in all my workshops, but then also I would recommend it. So then other people would buy it as well because it was a budget sort of a compass. So this is the set I bought. Okay, so this is what was available 8 years ago. And the thing is with these manufacturers, they change their compasses and their sets and how they put them together. So the reason I bought them is because in one box for maybe £8 or £9, it had a small compass, these ones, and a big compass and an extension bar. So I thought, okay, that's everything I would need. So then that's what I used in all my workshops. But because, like your circumstances are different to mine, now I have a box of small compasses for when I need them. And then for very, very emergency, not Calvin Klein perfume, I'm afraid, but the large compasses are in here. Okay. And then because in 2018, other people bought them at the same time as me, and they had maybe like not the sort of the budget to buy crazy expensive ones, so they spent maybe £12, which is maybe $15. um they have really looked after their compasses, and they've lasted and lasted. And one of the reasons I was really drawn to this compass is because it had screws in it, so then I could tighten it. The only thing is, when I used it with some students, they really were too harsh with the bar, and they pulled it open and the bar fell out, and it was so ridiculous. So some of these I had to mark with an X. Let's see, I think I've got one here. It broke because, yeah, look at that. So some of these compasses, they will not withstand you being crazy with them. So this one, like, I know how to fix it. Like, I know how to get it back into the middle because I've done it so many times. Like, and then, like, it can work, but I don't take it anyway because it's sort of broken. So yeah, looking after your compasses, having a gentle set, all having a gentle touch, and always keeping them in their boxes is really, really important. Even those ones, I'm keeping them in bubble wrap. So that whole idea of maintenance and looking after them, super valuable. Okay, can I just ask, in your area, if you were to look for compass brands, what kind of brands are available? And I can maybe suggest if they're okay for you. And they just get some brands out there. Get some brands out there. Now I'm going to go into the wonderful world of vintage compasses. So, like I said, it's a really fun hobby to buy old compasses. But I don't have loads and loads. I don't. I really don't. Um, but I do have some. I basically ended up giving them away. Oh, Sarah Breath Draper, the Make Builders tools. Yes, actually, somebody sent me a photo of that. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to look at the photos that people sent, because then we can see some of the other qualities of compasses that are out there. Okay, before I get into this box of goodies, let me just look at the compasses you sent. Okay, so thank you so much, by the way, for sending them, because I was like, I have compasses, but what do you have? So Sarah, thank you for sending this. So she's got the lovely, excellent Statler one. It's in the box, looked after. And this is a really nice bow compass, but because I don't know what the brand is, the build quality may or may not be like, we don't know. Okay, so you want to make sure when you're using your compass, there's a sturdiness to it, that it stays in the position you put it in. So if that bar has a screw in it that's kind of working, so for example, let me take out this gorgeous thing. This is a Harling compass. If I was to try to pull this, there'd be no movement at all, but it moves with this. Okay, one of the reasons I sent back my Statler compass, I'll show you one of the other random boxes I've got, is because too many things out here. Because there was a little bit of give. So this box is my box of spares, okay? Because at some point, like I said, I did have a little bit of a addiction to buying things. So in this box of spares, there's lots of stuff. But let me show you the very broken Statler compass, which I used a lot. So you can see it's opening here, but can you see it's moving? Now, because I'd bought a Statler compass and sent it and bought it and sent it back, I felt really cheeky not to send this one. So I just used it for spare parts. Oh, nice coloured little point there. Oh, let me catch up on the Let's catch up on the comments. Okay, Draper, yeah. Oh, Mike, hi. Hi, Mike. Thank you for the nice review. The modern compass is great to get your opinion. Thank you. If it's Statler, yes. Alvin, Mr. Penn, I haven't heard of. Alvin, I have heard of. And I would say from friends in the States, and when they've shown their compasses, I think they're using them quite well. Mike Wyndham, oh, sorry, I've said your whole surname. It's Charvoz compass. I have a Charvoz similar to the one in the blue case, and it's really solid. Oh, the one in the photo. Excellent. This one, Charvoz. So yeah, then we've got the nice approval of it being a decent one. And also, like, I've seen things, compasses, dare I say, like, I've not known the brand. And then when I got them, they turned out to be really, really bad. Like, I couldn't really draw with them. So yeah, having a brand, Googling the brand, searching, make sure it's a reliable brand is definitely good. Drapas is the Japanese company that still makes good compasses. They have good quality tools if you can find them. I think they're beautiful. I feel like that's a little part of my dream reality where one day I'm going to go to Japan and buy all the stationery in the world, including a nice Drapas compass. I won't need it. This is the thing. I bought two stapler and the pen holder part kept falling off and making my circles wobbly. Ooh, okay. So if it's something where you think the quality of it has deteriorated, write to them, write to the customer services, and tell them and see if that kind of gives you a solution. Westcott. I only know Westcott as a ruler maker because it's not a UK brand. I've got something from Westcott here. Yeah, it's a ruler. I didn't think this quality of this ruler was really good actually, so I can't really give much of an opinion on Westcott, I'm afraid. But if it's a reputable, is that a word? If it's a reputable brand, I would definitely contact them if your compass is failing you, because I think it's worth it to, like, why are they reputable? Because they say they will look after you. So yeah, do that. Okay, the one in the green box is Zeitsken. Green box. Green box. Hey, which green box? Sarah, come back to me. Oh, this one! In this green box. Very nice. It looks beautiful, by the way. So again, just knowing it's a vintage compass and the build quality, it's like you can assume in the past is going to be better. It's whether it was looked after through its lifetime. So it's not going to be like 100% guarantee, but the quality of the tools, the materials used, the build quality, just super better. And then this is classic. So this is typically what people who, have to hunt for a compass might find is your school compasses. And, like when you look at the point of them, what is the point of them? God, that classic. They're not very sharp because they're trying to make sure kids aren't stabbing each other with the points. So, yeah, the quality can be hit and miss. But once I saw somebody using maybe an Italian or a Swiss kind of kids looking compass, and it was superb. Like it was really good. So the quality of what is available for and aimed at children, I think, is usually on the low side, but you might find something that could be okay. Okay, unrelated. Robin, I'm traveling to Japan in 4 weeks. What should I look for in terms of drawing supplies? Okay, so I follow a brand or a company called Bungu, Bungu, on Instagram and on TikTok, and basically they're always reviewing stationery, and I feel like they're just making my mouth water. So I haven't made a list of any sort. I just assume I'll go there and find stationery shops and be in there for too long and buy too many things. And I follow a couple of calligraphers, and they are always talking about their trips to Japan and buying just loads of pens and accessories and all sorts of washi tape and highlighters.
Samira, excuse me. Can I
Yeah.
ask you a quick question, please?
Yeah, let me just go
Oh,
through those comments and
okay.
then
Okay.
chip back
Sounds
in.
good.
Okay, so thank you. Jonathan, I'd load up on pens, markers, and notebooks. Okay, I'd say so as well. Zitskin was a large US distributor on drawing equipment. They had many tools from scholars grade to high-end professional grade. Excellent. Thank you, Mike, for that. Why do we use a pen holder, not the compass lead, to structure the pattern? Okay, we'll talk about that. That's essentially a preference. But we're going to talk about the leads as well. And Japan has all the mechanical pencils. Oh, they do, they do, they do. And any brands that you can kind of think of, often, not any brands, but a lot of the good stationery brands, pencils, they're Japanese. Okay, I'm just going to go through the pictures. Oh, actually, who was that who just wanted
Oh,
to ask a question? Please go for it.
okay. No, it was really hard to excuse me to explain it on the chat. So
Yeah, yeah,
I have a Staedtler, like I don't know, it's like a $20 simple compass, but what it does is I can easily open and close it. But when I'm using it, sometimes it moves. So
so
my, like
that's
you just
yeah.
mentioned,
Yeah,
is that
that
bad?
is the thing that you don't want. So if it,
Yeah.
whatever brand of compass it is, if it
Okay.
moves and there's no way of tightening it, and like you are basically putting
Yeah.
it down a compass to for
Yeah.
7 centimeters, and it becomes 7.1, like 7.
Yeah.
If you can't tighten it, then it's no good to you. Literally, it's no good to you because a compass needs to stay at the radius that you fixed it at. So I
Okay.
would say, if it's like something you've bought and
Mhm.
are able to contact Statler because they, and get kind of
And
a new one sent
replacement.
through to you, go for it. Otherwise, you can invest in another compass. But the compass moving the radius, no go. You
Yeah, it's
cannot
been a
do anything with them.
disaster because I'm taking a Dean Arts Hoja Serap's class and I'm always
Ah,
behind. I
yeah,
cannot make her designs. And so I'm a little concerned about buying. She told us to buy vintage ones, but I just
yeah.
don't know. And I know and I appreciate you showing us all the features, but can we just go on eBay and just like look at the features that you're telling us are important? And can we just go ahead and buy it? I just feel
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know.
hold on.
Okay.
So basically, eBay as a seller's market, they have trust, like they have reviews of the sellers, and the person that's selling it should be showing you photos of
Okay.
it. So you're basing it on the sellers as their quality and their standard that they have. So they have star ratings and so on. So you can see whether they're a reliable seller. You can see the
Okay.
quality of the photos. You make a judgment call. So the thing is, you can buy rubbish, but they look like rubbish. Like something like this. Can you see how shiny and beautiful it is?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And in the
Yeah.
photo, it was shiny and beautiful. So, that's
Okay.
really, really useful. So you need to be
Okay.
able to look through the photos, make a judgment call. On
Okay.
my website, I've listed people who sell compasses. If you're in
Perfect.
America, then
Yeah.
Mike is in Canada, and he is a good source to buy compasses from. He was here a minute ago giving good,
Okay.
good answers. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
No worries. Sarah Beth, my daughter's school compass doesn't even have a brand name on it, but for very low price, it's actually reasonably good, very sturdy. So I've acquired it. Oh, well done, Sarah Beth. So yeah, that's the thing. You assume it's going to be bad quality because of what we've known from other school compasses, but they are also something that are evolving and changing and getting better or better produced. The sharp point, the lack of sharp point is my main issue. It's so hard. Nuria, can someone remind me the different names of the compass? Several needle points named. Yeah, the shouldered points. It literally looks like there's a shoulder and then there's a point sticking out of it, and then the other points are just compass points. Yeah. Would you please share the link to your website? eBay sellers. No, I don't have any eBay sellers. If it basically, I would suggest you search on eBay, but on my website, the links to people who sell, such as Mike Eiler in Germany. There's a chap in Turkey. Um, yeah, you can check there, but they are available. There are excellent vintage compasses out there. You just have to invest a little bit of time and effort, I'm afraid, to get the good ones. Well, I didn't actually show you the compasses. Oh, okay. So here in Europe, this is one of my favorite compasses. And I've got one of these in my other case, so I haven't got it out. But this build quality is so beautiful. And look at this mechanism. So I take this to some of my workshops where oh, there are students, children, and I just show them this build quality. But yeah, if you've got a reputable brand and if you can see from the photos that it's looking good, it's worth taking a chance and have a budget. Like, don't go crazy. You don't need to be spending a lot on the vintage compasses. Now, I mentioned the pencil or the pen holder. So here you can see, kind of, it's got a screw in it. So you can, in this compass, put in this lovely little mechanical pencil. I don't use this because it's a zero point 0.5 millimeter, which is too thick. So this is something that you can use instead of, and I want to show you because again, I guess it's a difficult or unusual thing that people have. So these are technical pens. Okay, they are amazing. These are what would have been used in the past. So I like rapidograph because they had cartridges in them, but there's other types as well. So why am I showing you these? It's because these have this screw, uh, technical pen holder screw. That means that you can screw them into some of these compasses. What am I doing? There we go. Sometimes they screw in from the top and sometimes they screw in from the bottom. Oh, look at that. The nib's actually broken. I remember this. I broke it. So yeah, in this case, it's not ideal with this because look how short it is. If I used it in one of my other pencils with one of the compass holders that has the screw, then you can just screw this in. So whether it goes in this way or whether it goes in this way, it is so solidly there. Now, technical pens, they need to be looked after. The ink and how they flow, you need to be very careful with them. Like I remember I bought these and then I used them regularly, put them away nicely. And then when I went back to them after a month, they were dry and I had to kind of wash them in just a bit of warm water, let them dry and da 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 da. So I haven't used them for a while, but they have steel nibs. So they're super, super amazing. Look at that. I haven't looked after it for such a long time. Naughty me. But they're about £20 each. Let me show you a photo of the steel nibs. So good. Sorry, it's really somehow a buzz talking about all of these things. Okay, so let's see if I can show you these. Okay, so these, can you see this screwing in ability? These are technical drawing pens with steel nibs. Look at the millimeterness. It's crazy. 0.1 millimeter and then 0.18, not something between 1 and 2. Imagine. I was like, what kind of precision life are we leading here? That you have something between 1 and 2. And the compasses they go with, so here you can see another example. Can you see how the screw and this go together? So sometimes if you're buying a vintage compass and you look at the set and it's only got this screwing in bit, avoid it because then have you got technical pens and pencils? No. You want to buy something that you can put a lead into or you can have a universal pen or pencil holder. So this you can put in any pen or pencil. It's a universal pencil pen holder. Okay, whereas this is a technical pen holder. Okay, so when you have this compass set, you get the universal holder, and I like the Staedtler one the most, and you have a technical pen holder. So it's kind of like never been used. Okay, all right, let's catch up with the comments. Sarah Beth, Rotring are lovely. I have a lovely set of pens and recently found a local supplier I can finally get new cartridges for. I agree. I think Rotring are beautiful. I could hug them if they would allow that. Marty, you can take the pen body of the Rotring Tech pen to screw in the compass. Yes, let's do that because um, let's demonstrate this little thing because if you do end up getting this, then oh, there we go. Is that yeah, it's got a screw there as well, but you can screw it in better this way for my there. There. Thank you. Okay, so all right, Mike, these rotring sets normally come with a metal lead clutch that works with the compass to hold a lead. Yeah, I have that. I have that. So this compass, the thing that comes with it, there's different ones. So this one I bought and I didn't quite realize, or somebody gave it to me actually, that it has the technical pen. But there's another one where you can screw in something to this and you can hold it with a lead. It would help if I had a photo of it. But it's just like a little thing that you screw in and it holds 2 millimeter pencils. I do have it in another box somewhere. Oh dear me. Okay, all right, let's put see this isn't even the set. Look how mismatched my life is because this box isn't the box for this, I don't think, because there's pieces missing. So the other thing on the internet is you might find incomplete sets. You might find sets that are not all there. So I'll show you something I did with my vintage supplies. Okay. So yeah, if you're not sure about vintage supplies, then on my website I did list people you can buy off. Literally, Mike's in the house, so you can ask. Sorry, is that annoying? But yeah, I'm hopefully sending people in the right direction. Okay, all right. What am I showing you next? Oh, to just look at the other compasses. Oh, so yeah, Melina, she sent me her compass. Look at that quality. This pen, this mechanical pencil is a really good quality one. I personally haven't had much luck with it, but everyone else really raves about it. I think it's by Rotring. It might not be, I'm not sure. Let's see some more of the compasses you sent. Yeah, Laurie had this one. And what's really interesting to me is this compass, it used to have this part and this part as metal and this part in blue in metal, and now it's no longer metal. So I don't know whether it's them changing their model, but this is a newer version of something that I remember used to look different. And it must be the one that's available because somebody else had it as well. Valentina had it as well. So it's got all the parts that you need. Okay, let's go back one more step. And just want to check. I think Leslie sent me her compasses as well. Where are yours? I'm trying to find a photo. Okay. Oh, I can't see it. But thank you, those of you who sent me the photos. Meow, meow. I did have one more from Leslie, but I can't see it on my pictures. Okay, so one thing that has come up in this conversation is why would you use like a holder, um, like a to hold a pencil? Okay, so firstly, it's very likely we own pencils. So then you being able to put your compass or put your pencil in your compass is good. And you can really sharpen these. And therefore you can buy a nice 2H lead, or in this case, I bought every H under the sun by Tombow Mono 100. And I've sharpened them once and literally, honestly, they stay so sharp. And what I like about these compasses is I can sharpen them with my favorite side accessory is emery boards. So I can keep these super, super sharp by just sharpening the lead on here. Okay, so having a compass that allows you to put in a universal pen holder allows you to use your own tools. Okay, so it's quite good. Now, the compass, when you buy it, you buy your compass, in here or in the will be a lead. Okay, I'm going to open this up. It's got spare compass and it's got spare leads. Now, what is the quality of that lead? Typically, it will be a HB lead, so the standard lead. So if you use that very gently, it's fine, but what you might find is that it's not as precise or it's not as it gets blunt very quickly. Okay, so like I said, all of these compasses. Oh, let's take everything out of the bag. Oh. All of these compasses, usually the standard thing that goes into them is a 2mm lead. So these are how you can buy 2mm leads, more than a human's lifetime worth of 2mm lead. Imagine using that much in your compass. So buying a whole box of them is such a. I feel like whenever I have people at my workshop, and they've got their own compasses, I just give these to them because it's a lot. So therefore, one thing that you might want to do, so you get your usage out of a whole box of 2mm leads, is you buy these clutch pencils, and these you can put your 2mm leads into. So this 2mm lead is B, this is HB. Can I say again, Stayla, send them to me. It was like, I don't need them, my friend, I don't need them. So the ones I've got are from Kohinoor, and these are, doesn't say on them, but they are 2H. Okay, so these leads, I would take out the standard leads that come in the compass and replace them with the hard leads. And as soon as you've got a hard lead, you have got a little bit more precision. Okay, so again, let me show some photos because your hard leads, you can get to such a lovely sharp point, and it's so valuable that, let's see, oh, there we go. So, I mean, that isn't even super sharp, but these leads, 2mm, okay, they can be used in your compasses, they can be used in clutch pencils, and you can really sharpen them. And you can sharpen them in two ways: by putting them in a rotary sharpener, something like this, okay, or you can put them in, or wedge them using sandpaper, or I use emery boards. I literally use emery boards. Okay, so the thing is, once they're nice and sharp, you get such nice precision. Um, so the kind of the 2 millimeter leads, I'm a big fan of them, is that you can sharpen them in a really easily way and put them in your compass. And yeah, you can get different hardnesses of them. And to make sure you kind of have these box of compasses going a long way, you can get a clutch pencil. They're not super expensive, and then put them in there. And what I really like about clutch pencils, don't fall, don't you fall, young lady. Let's do this. So if you've got a kind of a compass that you want to sharpen the lead for, what I typically do is firstly I make sure, where's my piece of cloth gone? So I did have a cloth here because what I was going to say, why is it all the way over there? Sorry, let me grab it. Oh, so when you are sharpening your leads and pencils, they make a mess. So therefore, what you would do, oh, okay. Could you demonstrate how to open those blue lead holders? Yeah, they're really weird, aren't they? So they've got these little arrows, and you kind of have to really pull it this way, and there's a little, like a plastic thing here, and then you can open it. Oh, can I just say, half the struggle of the stateless stuff was knowing how to use them. So let's take this one out. So what I would do, please admire my Islamic geometric cloth. So I'm going to put this lead into my compass. So one way that I typically do is wedge it. So can you see I'm going in one direction? Okay, and you end up with this wedge shape. Okay, so it's pointy on one side. Loads of people would want to point it and shape it all the way around. Okay, and that's fine. But honestly, when I've got so many to do, this works well for me. It works for my own work. So if you want to sharpen it all the way around, you kind of have to rotate it. And can you see the mess it's making? So that's why it's good to do this either on a cloth or in tissue or away from your drawing, and just get it as you wish. Look at my fingers. And so let's see if I can get this. So this is sharp all the way around. Come on. This is the struggle of me trying to show you this lead. Okay, let's see if I can actually. There we go. So it's sharp all the way around. Okay. Now, I also learnt to use this amazing tool because it's got this thing in it. Let's use the blunt end. So I'm going to use the end that is completely flat, and let's put it in here. Okay, so right now, can you see it's just like a flat, flat, flat. Okay, so you can put it in here and you sort of release it and get it to, I need to take off a bit, sorry. There's something not quite right about this. So you put it in here, you kind of loosen it, and you try to get it the exact same right length. And then you put it in here and you can hear the lead sharpening. Did I do that properly? Let's try that again. Oh, yeah, I didn't do it properly. Okay, so now when I rotate this, I can hear the lead and it's going to sharpen this. And if I try to do this without my clutch pencil, it's really annoying. So you can invest a lot of time and money into your 2 millimeter leads. You can get this hot sharpener, you can get the clutch pencils, you can get the actual box of leads as well. Okay, or if you don't want to, you can just kind of use an emery board. So there's the low budget and the high budget. Right. So oh, can you see it's sharpening? Let me clean it and do it, and then I can read the comments. Ah! Let's do one more. Okay, the Stapler has a color coding system for lead grades. The bigger 2 millimeter box come with a color end cap. And you can fit onto 2 millimeter. Wait. The big 2 millimeter boxes come with a colored end cap. You can fit onto 2 millimeter head, so you can quickly see what grade it is. Oh, I haven't got that, have I? Oh, here I have. Is it this box here? This one? Yeah, so B is blue. And where's my black one gone? This is me being naughty, not looking after things. So yeah, if this box, I know you can see how much it's been used. So oh, it's actually got a stapler one on it. I can see writing on the width of the pen saying what it is. I think that's in the wrong box. Okay, what is the pen you are putting the lead into? So this, if it is called a clutch pencil. Can you see it's got this clutch thing? I don't know if you can see. So I'm pressing there and it clutches the lead. So again, it's a clutch pencil. And because compasses predominantly are using 2 millimeter leads, and the lead holders are most of the things, most of what they come with. So therefore, if you buy this, you're making good use of your clutch pencils. And by the way, it's sharpened. So it's really cool. Okay, let me put this away because we are fast running out of time. Where did I get that out of? I got that out there. Yeah. Okay, so can I just say if there's things that I've rushed over or said this, I've got a couple of videos that I've made. I'm putting stuff on to Patreon as well. So there is kind of other stuff, but like I think that whole um precise questions that you might have is so much easier to answer it like this, like in the discussion. Okay, oh, mechanical pencils is the last thing. Look, I've put them away in such a mad rush. I don't know what they go. Okay. So mechanical pencils, I don't think I have a great supply of them. But yeah, I basically use all three. Okay. I use pencils, I use mechanical pencils, I use 2 millimeter leads. You have to kind of consider what your kind of preference is, how much time and budget you have, and then you can basically decide. And sometimes people just like using certain things over other things. So I love a mechanical pencil. I always have. And sometimes I draw with them and sometimes they get annoying. So I use my normal pencils or I bought, so it's all the same kind of thing. And with these you can get different leads as well. So let's see what selection I have. I have no idea. The empty box is 2H. So I have got different ones, but typically I use the 2H. Why are they all empty? Oh no, they're all in there. So 2H, there are harder ones available, but what I find with mechanical pencils is when they're hard, they're more brittle. So when you don't have a perfectly light touch, that means potentially that they break a little bit more easily. So, learning to have a light touch with your compass is quite useful. Um, because sorry, with a mechanical pencil, you really do need it. If you don't have a light touch, it will just break. So again, I've got some recommendations, but these aren't all the ones out there. Once I asked on Instagram about a compass mechanical pencil recommendations, whoa, so many choices came in. Now, if you want to test out your compass, I am here. Picking up the things I've broken or put down. I would say doing a few kind of classic drawings with them is a good thing to start. And I got this pad of paper out. This is called Bristol board. And this is kind of the quality of paper that was used or is used. So smooth and thick. And it's literally perfect for architectural drawings and precision. Okay. But like it's expensive. So I typically use just regular kind of printer paper. I think I bought a slightly thicker. So I think it's 90, what's the word? 90 GSM. Is that the word? Yeah, this is 250 GSM. So you can get thicker paper. But I don't like cartridge paper that has texture. I don't like any of that for drawing. I don't like the way the ink behaves on it. So it needs to be smooth. I like smooth paper, and Bristol board is like the queen ultimate best smooth paper. And then some good quality printer paper is always smooth as well. Okay, Jonathan, one thing I wanted to mention, I bought a metal pencil set. It's leadless. I like it because I like it because unlike actual lead, it doesn't bleed into watercolors. Plus, it's very light drawing, so I can get super light lines. Okay, so this is something, a technology that is developing, and I had one that my niece gave me, and she basically had like a party. So she got everybody like like lovely little gift bags, very geeky. And my metallic graphite nib it did deteriorate, but I think there's other qualities available. And sometimes I think they're called eternal or eternity pencils. So it's good to know actually that you're saying that they don't bleed into watercolors. That is very handy to know. How can we protect paper from getting holes when we draw directly on art project? A light touch. So you have to have a light touch. Now, just say I do make a big hole. Just say I'm going to make a big hole. Okay, like something like this. Oh, that's not even a hole. Let's make a fake hole. Okay, if you make a big hole, when you turn your paper upside down, that hole is basically, it's like that was the paper and it's gone like that. So if you turn it upside down and push it back up, maybe put some masking tape there, it's almost invisible. But you have to have a light touch. And also, in essentially, I don't really care. It's really bad. So I don't really care about holes in my work. In fact, I think it's like a beautiful thing. So if I've got a hole that bothers me, I'll turn it upside down, push the paper back up because it was like that. The holes made it like that. So I push it back up and put masking tape on it. But I don't care as much as I think other people do. That's really tragic, I'm sure. Okay, what was I going to show you? Oh yeah, little compass warm up. Now it's 8 o'clock. We were going to finish in an hour, but I've got just one more thing to do to say. Okay. Is it a matter to customer? I don't know. I've never really had an issue when I've sold original artwork. So it depends on your customer really. But I wouldn't worry about things that are, what's the word? Theoretical problems. Do you get me? Like you do your best. You make a piece of work by your hands. Like if it's imperfect, that's you that's made it. That is the beauty of it. If they wanted something perfect and holeless, they would get a print, no? So honestly, I'd say it's about a mindset. Don't worry about things that are potentially, not even an issue, right? Okay, let me just show you something with this. Let's see, let's put this down. Okay, so one way and an easy way to check your compass and practice, we didn't really talk about that, is how you use it. So I hold the compass there, and when I want to place it exactly where I want it to be, I kind of hold it close to the point. I don't do this thing where like I'm searching for it or I guide it down. Precision and placement is really important for what we do. Leslie, the hole is an integral part of the construction. Leave them in. Yeah, like I've never really considered it an issue. Like it's not an issue. We're doing things by hand. It's like saying, when you're knitting. No, that's really annoying. There's full of holes. Jonathan, if someone loves your art, they won't care about the holes. Yeah, I just think, yeah, it's not an issue. Uh, and also, the reason why I would suggest having a light touch is so you can have a bit of accuracy in your work, and like get the most out of your compass. Because if you're pressing hard, not only will kind of your hole become not one hole, but like a more than one hole, it can be a little bit of an issue. So there's two things going on. I am drawing the seed of life, and that's my good way of testing my compass, but I'm doing so with a hard lead, so you can't see it. So one of the reasons why I use pen so much online and in person is because I want people to be able to see my work. Okay. So yes, this right now, I don't think it's visible. Wait. But it's there, I promise. So yeah, working carefully and testing your compass. So one thing I say is, having a light touch, even with the way you hold the compass. Like I never hold it like this. Like I never hold it like it's like what? Well, who does that? So I either, I'm very careful about holding it by where I'm going to put it down and then doing this, or I guide it down. So in a way, I'm not touching this area at all. And I'm not, like once I'm ready to draw, everything's tight, everything's ready to go. I'm trying to keep it in its position. So I never squeeze it when I'm drawing. I don't hold it. That might encourage me to squeeze it. So yeah, the way you hold your compass, I might do this on my other main camera. Let's just switch for a second. Will it work? So holding it like this, having a light touch guiding it down, these are really important things. And when you put your compass down, I might actually do another thing. Let's see if I can, sorry, I'm going to try to angle my camera so you can see what's going on. Let's see if it works. Okay. Oh, actually, I switched the camera. We'll get there in the end. Oh, why is that not working? Okay. There we go. So just so you can see, I'll do it here. Let's see how low I can go. Okay, there we go. My board, my table. So when you're putting your compass down, okay, you're placing it down. If you want to get a good view of it, you can go angle it in. But essentially, let me just draw another one. I don't feel like I want to draw the same thing again. So you're putting it down and you are essentially applying a little bit of pressure through the compass point. And look how the leg with the lead is able to spin round. Now, if you slightly lean it and slightly kind of do this idea that you're sweeping it, you can draw your circle. Okay. Now, the more upright it is, essentially, the better it is. Like if you're sweeping it too much like that, it might become a little bit inaccurate. So a little bit of a lean, a little bit of a sweep. And even if you like think of it as like it's a dance, I'm not even holding it. I'm just letting it go around. So this idea of kind of the way you hold your compass and having a light touch, it can be super, super important. And like I always demonstrate this in my workshop. So like between my finger and thumb, when I'm holding it weirdly, I can turn it fully. If I hold it like this, my elbow, let me just show you. My elbow so my wrist gets involved, my elbow gets involved, and even I can feel it in my arm, but I can't turn it fully. Like, what can I turn it? I can turn it 180 and then it stops and I have to change. But if you hold it with your finger and thumb, you can literally turn it like 180, 360, 720, like you spin it around a lot. So mastering that is really important. And so it takes a bit of practice. Some people do sort of things that are easier in the short run, like they might turn their paper instead of the compass, or they might kind of do half and then do the other half. But if you want to master a tool, then it's slightly harder initially, and then it'll become easier as you do it. So you kind of are able to spin it round. Okay. All right. So, any other questions? Because I feel like, did I say all the things I wanted to? I haven't talked about rulers and I haven't talked about pens. I've got them here ready, but I think I might save that because what we can do next time is potentially start off with the rulers and the pens, and potentially we can then do a drawing. So we haven't drawn anything. But I will give you a suggestion as to which one you can draw on from my YouTube channel. And next month, what I'm going to suggest is a particular set of patterns, which will kind of hopefully be okay for you to do. But yeah, does anyone have any other comments or questions? I feel like I had so many things out, but I don't know if I got through them all. Don't know, did I? I'll remember things. It's so easily to. Oh, can I just talk about one thing that has been amazing? So once upon a time, before I discovered these patterns, I went to Hong Kong, maybe 2007 or 8, and like Hong Kong has stationery, and I bought this compass, and it became my travel compass because essentially I was thinking I don't care if I lose it, but it's actually so well built, and I use it every time I go on holiday, and now I do care if I lose it because it's so easy and like quick and easy to use. And I think it's just made in China and it was $10. So these things about some of the cheaper things, yeah, they can be quite good. It's called Delhi on the front, but I don't know. And I've seen other people with them as well. Oh, was it you, Samira, that I saw with a magnifying attachment on your compass? No, but it was Clarissa. Like I know it because I've seen her with it. Dropbow compasses. Yes, Robin. Yes, let's talk about those. So can I just say, once upon a time, I ordered on American eBay. When I first started in 2013, on American eBay, I ordered a drop bow compass. And can I just say, people love saying the word drop bow, but actually, not everything is a drop bow compass. So this mechanism is so different to a typical compass. And there's something called a spring bow compass. Let's just talk about the names of them for a second, because then you can see what it's talking about. So this mechanism up here, this round thing. Okay, I don't want to show this one because this is a little bit of a different one to what I want you to visualize. Let's see if there's one in my box. Yeah. This is typically what's called a spring bow compass. Okay, they've got this round thing, like it's the tension in there is only opened or closed by using the thumb wheel. Okay, so this drop bow compass. Oh, I didn't talk about dividers either. Dividers. Oh. So many things to talk about. So this drop bow compass I bought, and I asked my niece in America to bring it over for me, and eventually, maybe 5 years later, I got it. And at that point, I realized it didn't even have a pencil holder. It had a ruling pencil holder. So if you compare these two, can you see they're both drop bow compasses? Let's put these gorgeous things back. Wait, I'll do this carefully because this is my favorite box. This box that I'm showing you is like my carefully all the favorites of all the vintage things. This is also for sharpening 2mm leads, by the way. I find it really tricky. So yeah, this is my careful box of careful things. Have I put things in wrong? I don't know. Okay, let's put that back. So yeah, the drop bow compasses are for making small holes. So when I first started learning, I learned with Adam Williamson and Richard Henry. And Richard Henry, in one of our first lessons, we used his drop bow compasses. And so this is the weird, cool one from the Linex brand. And what it allows you to do is allows you to draw small circles quite easily. Let's zoom into that. So you basically can you can basically change the distance between the lead and the point, and the mechanism allows you to, can you see how tiny that is? Draw tiny circles, and you sort of spin it round. Okay, and sometimes if you're feeling really expert, you can do it with one finger, and you kind of speedily do loads of circles. I know you can't see anything there. Let me just show you on the other camera because it's easier. I'll show you my mad skills so you can spin it round. Oh, I feel like such a boss. And so it's really cool. So the drop bow compasses were really useful for doing channels, but I personally just don't do it that way anymore. So I do use small compasses instead of drop bows a little bit more because they're just a bit more versatile for me. So I have some smaller compasses, but drop bow compasses has a different mechanism altogether, and they're really useful for drawing those small circles when you want to create like a thickness and keep it consistent. Mike, when buying drop bow, ask for close-up photos of the tip because often they're bent and cause off-center circles. You know what? I've never come across that, but that is a very good tip because, yeah, if you can have, you know what? Honestly, the potential for getting messed up things. I bought this and it's good quality, but it's just like, what am I gonna do with that? Okay, Mike, the K and E Paragon was Scott. Woohoo! It was KE's top of the line compass. Oh yeah, I bought it on eBay in the USA, although I'm in the UK, and I delivered it to my cousin's house, and then my niece brought it over maybe 4 or 5 years later. So I'm glad. I'm glad I did. I love listening to you, but geeking out drawing tools. I said, honestly, I was like, like looking forward to this. Laid everything out. I'll just show you. So I've got my stuff behind me. I've got my stuff to the side. Is all like ready to go. Oh, and I have to show you this. Can I? Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. Oh no, let's zoom out. Let's angle this. I want to show you. Look, so this is my, please don't fall. You're on camera. I, just in case anything was difficult to reach, I put everything on the spinny turntable. So funny. Because I thought that'd be really useful. Why do artists create small geometric art projects, the larger one? If it's a really like, well, they can create whatever they like, no? Like it's up to them. So yeah, basically, an artist can do whatever they like. Do you know what I mean? It's not really why do artists create? You know, like the impulse to create and how you create is entirely your personal preference and journey and what your materials you have. Okay, and Mike, also the Paragon Red tip has a special carbide tip for use on film. Will never wear out. Oh my God. I am set for life. Jonathan, I'm going to paint a wall in my house with one of these pans. That's my dream. Mike, I like smaller, but because I can use smaller paper and use less desk space. Yeah, and also, like it's what you're potentially used to. And, this is something that's essentially a drawing thing with tools, and the tools are made to be drawn at a certain scale. If I was to do something a wall size, I couldn't use any of these unless I did some projection. I wouldn't necessarily know where to start. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If where artists put their signature on geometric art, each artist puts it wherever they like. I think also I like with your questions, it's like I think you're thinking there's one universal way of things being done. And there isn't. There really isn't. As many humans there are, there's as many different ways of doing it. If you want to put it on the top right corner, and someone else wants to put it in the top left corner, and somebody else wants to make a signature or a logo, and somebody else wants to write their name, it's entirely up to you. There's not one way of creating art. There's not one way of signing it. There's not, you know, there's multiple ways, and there's no wrong or right way necessarily. Okay. That's felt like a little mini lecture there. Okay, let's have a look at everybody. I want to see y'all. Did I just say that? Um, uh, where's the gallery? There's the gallery. I'm gonna switch. What is happening? Um, view standard. Oh, I'm sharing my camera. That's why. Okay, so let's stop sharing my camera and hello, free. Okay, cool. So thank you so much. Kim Hood, I was told that there are no art police. There should be art police, like you can do whatever you like, right? And also you find your own way of doing things. You find your way of liking what you do. So I've showed you maybe mechanical pencils, normal pencils, 2 milliliter leads. What's your preference? Maybe you'll try working one and that's your preference. Maybe you'll try working in another. So your preference is really important and your instinct is really important. I remember when I first started, my artist friends who'd been practicing longer than me would make recommendations. And then I would try them and I thought, it's not quite for me. And then I maybe found something and that was for me. So, like you have to kind of find what works for you. Like I don't work on certain paper, other people do. I don't work with a certain like 4 or 5H lead because I can't keep it, I can't actually see it to be honest. And so it's just too hard, but other people are fine with that. So you've got to find your preference for when you do anything really. And like I would be really amazed or when people say there's one singular way of doing something, oh no, like literally I put my fingers in my ears and walk the other way because I'm like, no, there isn't. So yeah, just find your way of doing things and utilize what you have. If you haven't got all these things, and like I've been doing this for like how many years now, so I've acquired a bit of a collection of things I teach, so therefore I need to have multiples. But if you've got a certain thing, utilize it. And if it's not up to the standard, then you can get whatever is the best in your budget. You don't have to buy everything under the sun. Okay, mini lecture over again. All right. Okay. So I'm going to say big thank you for everybody coming along. Nuria, you are very welcome. Sarah Beth, you're very welcome. Farah, yes, thank you so much for all their information recommendations. Please do go to the Patreon collection where I'm trying to collect together, all the IGP 101 stuff. And my website, I think it's still up to scratch in terms of equipment and recommendations. And if anything, you're like, what? I don't know what she's on about. just let me know and send me an email. And if it's something that involves needing a photo, send a photo, because we were talking about who was sending me something and they were asking about it. And I was like, send a photo, please. And immediately I was able to answer it. So yeah, I'm happy to help. But yeah, thank you for your thank yous. And thank you for joining Patreon, by the way. I love it. You know, like all the platforms, they're kind of stressing us out with all the platform owners being a little bit out there and weird and changing things. So yeah, I'm glad Patreon's still in my good books. All right, have a lovely rest of your day, and hopefully I might see some of you on Saturday and Sunday for the other Zooms because I had a holiday. So I haven't had the normal schedule for January, and I recommend having a holiday. Winter sun is just amazing. All right, take care, everybody. Thanks again, and lovely seeing you.